open trousers. But Curly Joe likes for us to drop one now and then, just to keep folks on their toes. Once word gets around, it shows the next town we ride into that everybody best steer clear and let us alone. Else we will put somebody in the dirt. He grinned crookedly. That's not what it showed me, said Sattler. What it showed me was that from now on, we can forget about ever giving ourselves up and going to prison. All that's waiting for us is a rope. Then he shouted out to the woman, "Hurry up down there! We're all waiting to get back to it." "I'm coming. Keep your drawers on," the woman shouted in reply. But as she dipped water in her hand and washed her forearm, she kept her head lowered and searched the rugged, sloping hillside behind the cabin, looking for her best escape route. "Let Curly Joe hear you talking about giving yourself up, and you'll wish somebody would hang you," Jecker said to Sattler. Sattler turned enough to give Jecker a dark stare and say in a threatening manner, "I never said a damn thing about giving myself up, and I'll burn down any sumbitch who tells Curly Joe that I did." "We're just talking here," Jecker said, backing away from the matter. He gave a shrug with a show of his broad, empty hands. "All's I'm saying is that Curly Joe figures we're in this until they ride us down. There's no giving ourselves up. You should have known that when we joined up." Sattler let it go. He shook his head and took a long swig of whiskey. When he lowered the bottle and let out a hiss, he wiped his mouth and said, "Killing innocent bystanders is bad business. The whore says that little girl's pa is J. Fenwick Hatton." "Do you mean James Fenwick Hatton of the Western Pacific Rail Lines?" Jecker asked, his expression turning to one of dread. "Yep, one and the same," said Sattler. "He also owns one of the biggest cattle operations in this whole territory. His girl was in town shopping with the family's housemaid. Hatton was off somewhere, but he's back by now, I expect, to bury his daughter, knowing it's Curly Joe's gang who killed her in the street. So that means—" Duval let his words trail as he contemplated what Sattler had said. "It means this time Curly Joe has gone and killed the wrong innocent bystander," Sattler said, finishing his words for him. "Hatton has a bunch of his men on our trail right now. You can count on it." "A bunch of men?" Pete Duval ventured a nervous laugh. "What, you mean a posse of range hands? I believe we can fight our way through them, no trouble at all." He looked around at Jecker and at a silent Chicago gunman named Chester Goins, also known as Big Chicago, for support. Jecker gave him only a worried look. Goins, who had sat quietly listening, continued to do so with a stone-like stare, his black derby hat cocked jauntily on his forehead. Finally he offered, "I wasn't with you on that job, men, so I'm not worried about it." "But you're with us now," said Jecker. "If somebody comes looking for our blood, you won't run out on us, will you?" Big Chicago gave him a look. "I've never run out on a part in my life. I don't care if Hatton or anybody else sends an army of saddle bums and ranch hands. I'll stick. If you think a powerful man like J. Fenwick Hatton only has a few saddle bums and ranch hands working for him, you're not long for this earth, Chicago," said Sattler. He turned toward the creek in the evening gloom and called out, "Get on back up here, whore, before I come drag you back by the hair." He looked back and forth along the darkening creek bank. "Where the hell is she?" "A man like Hatton gets whatever kind of help he's willing to pay for," Jecker put in, looking around at the faces of Duval and Goins. "In a case like this, his daughter and all, I'd say he'd hire the devil in hell to ride us down, if the devil's for hire." "Damn it, the whore's gone," said Sattler. He reached inside the open door, snatched his gun belt from a wall peg, and slung it over his bare shoulder. "Come on, help me find her." Seeing the other three rising too slowly to suit him, he cursed, turned and bounded down off the porch and out across the rocky yard. 100 yards from the cabin, the woman heard them coming, running fast. "Oh, God!" They were onto her now, she knew, gasping for breath as she pulled herself upward. They would catch her and they would kill her.